Ever wondered how a ballet dancer spins so effortlessly or a cheetah sprints at breathtaking speed? Intriguing, isn't it? It all boils down to two fundamental biological concepts: locomotion and movement. To understand these concepts, imagine a world where everything is stationary, nothing moves, not even a leaf. Boring, right? Thankfully, our world is anything but static. The wind blows, rivers flow, and most importantly, living organisms move. That's where locomotion and movement come into play. Before we delve further into movement, let's take a moment to appreciate the driving force behind it. Yes, you guessed it right, our muscles. Muscles come in different types, each with a specific role. There are smooth muscles that help with internal processes like digestion, cardiac muscles that keep our heart pumping, and skeletal muscles that enable us to move our body parts. Each contraction and relaxation, every flex and extend, is a marvel of our muscular system. That's the power of muscles, making every movement possible. Before we move on to the definition of movement, let's take a closer look at the inner workings of our muscles. The real heroes in our muscles are the contractile proteins. These are the building blocks of our muscles, the microscopic powerhouses that make all our movements possible. Contractile proteins are of two main types: actin, which is thin, and myosin, which is thick. These proteins intertwine, forming a structure that's aptly named a sarcomere. When a muscle contracts, these proteins slide over each other, shortening the sarcomere. And when they relax, the sarcomere lengthens again. That's the structure of contractile proteins, a marvel of microengineering at work in every muscle movement. Muscle contraction is a fascinating process. It's what allows you to lift a heavy object or sprint towards a finish line. But how exactly does it work? Remember the contractile proteins we talked about earlier? When a nerve signal reaches a muscle, it triggers the release of calcium ions in the muscle fibers. These ions bind to the actin filaments, changing their shape and allowing the myosin heads to attach. This attachment forms a cross bridge, and when the myosin heads pivot, they pull the actin filaments towards the center of the sarcomere. This is the sliding filament theory of muscle contraction, and it's how our muscles contract and create movement. That's the mechanism of muscle contraction, an intricate dance of proteins that power our every move. Let's now shift our focus to another crucial player in our body's movement, the skeletal system. This system is essentially the framework of our body, providing structure and support. Composed of 206 bones, it's not just a static structure, it's dynamic and plays a critical role in enabling movement. Our bones act as levers, with muscles acting as the force that moves them. When muscles contract, they pull on the bones they're attached to, causing them to move. In this way, your skeletal system and muscular system work together to facilitate movement. From lifting your arm to take a sip of coffee, to running a marathon, every movement you make involves this incredible interplay between your bones and muscles. That's the skeletal system, a key player in every move you make. From the skeletal system, let's move on to another crucial element of our body's movement mechanism: joints. Joints are the connecting points between bones. They are like the hinges on a door, allowing bones to move in relation to each other. There are several types of joints in our body, including hinge joints like those in your elbows and knees, and ball and socket joints like your hip and shoulder joints. These different types of joints allow for a wide range of movements, from the simple bending and straightening of a hinge joint to the multi-directional movement of a ball and socket joint. They are lubricated by a fluid that reduces friction, allowing for smooth, efficient movement. So, whether you're turning your head, waving your hand, or bending your knee, it's your joints that are facilitating these movements. That's all about joints, these essential pivot points in our movement mechanism. Like any other system, the muscular and skeletal systems can sometimes face disorders. Conditions like arthritis impact the joints, limiting movement and causing pain. Muscular disorders like muscular dystrophy can weaken the muscles over time, reducing mobility. But don't worry, science and medicine have come a long way in diagnosing and treating these conditions. Treatments can range from medication and physical therapy to surgery in severe cases. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle, including regular exercise and a balanced diet, can also help keep these systems in good shape. Remember, A healthy muscular and skeletal system is key to our ability to move and explore the world around us. That's a brief overview of disorders and treatments of the muscular and skeletal systems. Movement is a broad term that refers to any change in position or place. It can be as simple as the blinking of your eyes or as complex as the flapping of a bird's wings. It's not just about moving from one place to another, it's also about the internal movements that happen within our bodies. Think about the beating of your heart or the contraction of your muscles. That's movement in action. Locomotion, on the other hand, is a specialized type of movement. It's about an organism moving as a whole from one place to another. When a rabbit hops away from a predator or a fish swims upstream, they're using locomotion. It's a survival mechanism, a way to find food, escape danger, or seek a mate. Now, let's put these concepts into perspective. Take a tree, for example. Its leaves move to follow the sun, but the tree itself doesn't relocate. That's movement without locomotion. Now, think about a bird soaring in the sky. It's not just moving its wings, it's also changing its location. That's locomotion. So, to recap, movement is any change in position, be it external or internal. It's all around us and within us. Locomotion is a subset of movement, a specific type that involves an organism moving from one place to another. It's a key survival tool for many species. To understand the world around us and within us, we must grasp these basic concepts. They're not just about biology, they're about life itself. So the next time you see a ballet dancer spinning or a cheetah sprinting, remember, it's all about locomotion and movement.